let's turn to Elon Musk. Billionaires should be illegal, not the people. The ability to accrue that amount of money should be illegal. It should be impossible to do and not have a run afoul of the law. We should have taxation. We should have regulatory schemes that make it impossible to accrue this much money. Elon Musk bought Twitter several years ago. He then continued on to run it in such a way that it lost at least 80% of its value. And it was irrelevant to him. Sort of puts to lie the idea of like, why would any capitalist ever run a business in a way that wasn't making money? It's irrational. Well, it turns out when you're a billionaire, that's why you have billions. It's so that your irrationality or your whimsy can be addressed without really any implications to your material condition. And Elon Musk bought Twitter and then has poured money into the Trump campaign. I think more than we fully can anticipate or assess at this point. He's got multiple organizations that are functioning in support of Trump's campaign. Let's just start with the sort of low-hanging and most forward-facing stuff. That is that Elon Musk's is financing a super PAC that is been tasked with, at the very least, Arizona, Nevada, and Wisconsin. I would imagine, and obviously Pennsylvania. I would also imagine in Michigan, in the Get Out the Vote efforts for the Republicans. In Wisconsin, Charlie Kirk's organization, Turning Points, must have been performing so poorly that Elon Musk's organization was coming to Bigfoot him. And I say it must be so poorly because there is multiple stories out now. And look, take this with a grain of salt because it's really, really hard to assess how this will impact the election. But if the polls show that Trump and Harris are tied, then getting out the vote becomes even that much more important. News story, I think it came out of The Guardian. Donald Trump's campaign may be failing to reach thousands of voters. They hope to turn out in Arizona and Nevada with roughly a quarter of door knocks done by America PAC, flagged by its canvassing app as potentially fraudulent. This is according to leaked data and people familiar with the matter. This is from leaked. The America PAC is one of these Elon Musk PACs. They have the lead in Wisconsin, apparently. They're working with supposedly Turning Points in Arizona and Nevada. Leaked America PAC data obtained by The Guardian shows that roughly 24% of the door knocks in Arizona and 25% of the door knocks in Nevada this week were flagged under, quote, unusual survey logs by the Campaign Sidekick canvassing app. Matt, will you check out and see if that Campaign Sidekick is actually the Turning Points app that they developed? So you're asking yourself, what does this mean? How can they make this assessment that they are unusual survey logs or they could be fraudulent? Multiple people familiar with the Campaign Sidekick app, including a recent auditor for Blitz Canvassing, these Republicans are all outsourcing all of their work. They're hiring people to do this. And I don't know how well they vet the people, but there's some heroes that have taken these jobs canvassing for Elon Musk. So multiple people familiar with the Campaign Sidekick app. Includes a recent auditor for Blitz Canvassing and a senior executive at another vendor who signed a non-disclosure agreement with America PAC, agreed the unusual activity logs were an effective tool to detect cheaters. And this is an example of what an unusual activity log will track. It showed a canvasser who was marked by GPS as sitting at Goyo's on the Trail restaurant, which was a half a mile away from the doors he was supposedly hitting in Globe, Arizona. I want to pay for that canvasser's meal. If anybody knows who that is, and they were at a restaurant eating when they were claiming to be knocking on doors of potential Trump voters, I want to pay for their lunch.
That's innovation.
Another canvasser was recording marking voters as not home 2 blocks away from that apartment. So they can see you on GPS and they can say, like, wait, how come it shows you're marking that no one answered that door when you're like 3 blocks away from that door?
My delivery guys sometimes do that. So yeah, we tried today. We'll try tomorrow. And like, you didn't try today.
As a result of its heavy investment, America PAC has been able to post impressive numbers of door knocks in only a matter of months through its network of several vendors and dozens of subcontractors under those vendors in each of the battleground states. I am telling you, like, we can't tell what the impact of this is, but do not be surprised if the idea of subcontracting a subcontract to a subcontractor to a subcontractor brings about less than stellar results. Do not be surprised.
Well, everyone's going to be motivated to a good job because they skimmed a little bit off the top.
That's right. Now you got to replace, 25% of that seems pretty intense. The other thing that Elon Musk is doing has been, and I should say, there's another story about this is out from Reuters. Elon Musk's political action committee is struggling in some swing states to meet door-knocking goals. And it's investigating claims that some canvassers lied about the numbers of voters they've contacted. That's from another story at Reuters. Alyssa McMillan, who canvassed for the PAC in Wisconsin. Remember, it was Nevada and Arizona where there was examples of 25% rates of what appear to be canvassers pretending to knock on people's doors. Alyssa McMillan, who worked for the PAC in Wisconsin, said field organizers recently told campaigners they weren't reaching daily objectives and were on a track to miss an ultimate goal of contacting 450,000 voters by election day. If they're not hitting their numbers, and those numbers that they are hitting are 25% fraudulent, that may be a problem for the Trump campaign. And how do you deal with that? Well, what you do is if you are Elon Musk, you offer people money to sign up so that you can tell them to vote. Here is Elon Musk. He has been campaigning for Trump. I think this is him in Pennsylvania on stage announcing that his super PAC is going to do a sweepstakes.
I have a surprise for you, which is that we're going to be awarding $1 million to randomly to people who have signed the petition every day.
Now, pause it for 1 second. Let's be clear here. He's put out this petition in support of the First and Second Amendments that is a classic, data scraping, or it's not even scraping. You're just giving them the data. They want you on an email list. I don't know what you need to give in that petition, but they want you there as a registered voter. You have to be a registered voter. You sign this petition, and this is the way that they're going to say, like, okay, this is our voter list. These are the people we need to contact in the days before the election to get them to come out and vote. They're paying $100 for every Pennsylvania registrant who does this. They're paying $47 outside of different states. And now he's added this $1 million sweepstake. So if you are registered and you sign the petition, you're entering a lottery for $1 million. Go.
Is that we're going to be awarding $1 million to randomly to people who have signed the petition every day from now until the election.
Okay, so there's going to be 14 more millionaires apparently, but the irony is that you don't register. You can't register after today. I think it is in Pennsylvania. So get out there and register if you need be. But the idea is, again, is for him to get people to sign this petition. So presumably they can contact these people, or we would be remiss if we were not contemplating the possibility that he's doing this because he's starting some media enterprise or other organization and wants to know who the dupes are. But speaking of dupes, here is the first winner of $1 million. Congrats. But I may have some bad news for you after this.
President, and just see everyone in person, attend a great rally, and see a lot of patriots together. When he called me, the first thing that happened, I screamed, and it was $1 million, and I was pumping my check in the air, pumping my arms in the air, and I went up and. Actually, meeting Elon, I kind of forgot about the money for a little bit, since he's such an influential figure. For guys my age who are working hard every day, and it's important. It's really important to get out and vote. And voting early is just anything can happen on election day. There's a lot of things that can go wrong and prevent you from voting. So if you can get in your vote early, your ballot's in, and you don't have to worry about it. Pennsylvania, everyone needs to get out and vote early.
There you go. They are trying to make up for 2020 when Donald Trump basically said, don't vote early. That's the way they'll steal your vote. They're trying to deal with that. But let's get to this issue at hand, because congratulations to, what's his name? John Dreyer for winning. We have what might be a problem, though, for you. Rick Hasen, election professor and lawyer who deals with elections, says that though maybe some of the other things that Musk was doing was of murky legality, this one is clearly illegal. See, 52 USC, that is the U.S. Code 10307, paragraph C, quote, whoever knowingly or willfully gives false information as to his name, address, or period of residence in the voting district for the purpose of establishing his eligibility to register to vote, or conspires with another individual for the purpose of encouraging his false registration to vote or illegal voting, or pays or offers to pay or accepts payment either for registration to vote or for voting shall be fined not more than $10,000 or imprisoned for not more than 5 years, or both. Now, if you pay someone $100 for signing a petition, but you can only do it if you have registered to vote, That is an offer or actual payment for registration to vote.
Right, because don't you need, like, in sweepstakes to make them legal, like in a way to participate without
No purchase necessary. There cannot be those type of restrictions. The DOJ Elections Crimes Manual at 44, the bribe may be anything having monetary value, including cash, liquor, lottery chances,
Oh crap.
and welfare benefits such as food stamps. Now, you can offer free rides to the polls or providing employees paid leave while they vote are not prohibited. For an offer or payment to violate Section 10307C, it must have been intended. This is case law, United States versus Lewin. It must have been intended to induce or reward the voter for engaging in one or more acts necessary to cast a ballot. If you register and then sign this petition, you will be rewarded with $100 in Pennsylvania or a lottery chance, both of which highly illegal. And it goes on, and this is the United States versus Canales. This is the case law now. Section 10307C does not apply to payments made to signature gatherers for voter registrations, such as individuals may obtain. However, such payments become actionable under Section 10307C if they are shared with the person being registered. Uh-oh. In other words, you can hire canvassers, but if your organization's also paying people to be registered, you're in trouble. Now, I don't know what happens if you accept that money. And my bet is that guy is going to be glad he got $1 million, even if he has some legal bills that will make it a little bit more complicated. But that's Elon Musk for you. With that said, Elon Musk's failed canvassing operation, now what appears to be illegal canvassing operation, is not the most despicable thing that Elon Musk has done this week.
Publicly.
What is it? 404. There's a site, I think it's called 404, that did some reporting as to some micro-targeting of ads that were happening.
404media.com.
404media.com. This story was picked up by Chris Hayes on his All In with Chris Hayes program. They didn't credit 404 Media until later. Nevertheless, here is a good explanation of what's going on and what Elon Musk is up to.
Political campaigns love micro-targeting. That's sending messages directly to small groups of voters. If you're not in the group being targeted, you may never see them. Let's look at what you're missing. Here are some recent political ads that were micro-targeted to Muslim voters in the swing state of Michigan.
Vice President Harris has chosen a side, the right side. Harris has made herself clear. She stands with Israel and the Jewish people.
And joining Kamala will be her husband and top advisor, Doug Emhoff, who would be the first Jewish presidential spouse ever.
Kamala relies on her husband, Doug, for counsel on the toughest issues, like Israel's noble fight against the radical terrorists in Gaza. And when Doug talks, Kamala listens. Kamala and Doug, America's pro-Israel power couple.
That went to Muslim swing voters. Now, that's extremely cynical and I think kind of anti-Semitic, like there's a Jewish puppet behind the woman. Okay, that's one set of micro-targeted ads to Muslim voters. Now, here are some other ads run by the same pro-Trump PAC being targeted to Jewish voters in the swing state of Pennsylvania.
Two-faced Kamala Harris is secretly campaigning for Palestine and trying to get away with it.
In Jewish communities throughout America, questions are being asked. Why is she running ads pandering to Palestine? We must stand up to anti-Semitism. We say no more.
Kamala Harris, stop pandering to Palestine and stand with our ally Israel.
Wait, we were just told Kamala Harris stands with Israel, that she's super pro-Israel. She's part of a pro-Israel power couple. Now we're being told she stands with Palestine against Israel. You see the issue here, right? Those two sets of ads can't both be true. They're diametrically opposed and mutually exclusive, but they're both made by the same pro-Trump political action committee to micro-target and manipulate vastly different groups of voters. It is the grossest, most cynical ploy I've seen in an election cycle that's rotten with cynical ploys. And it's all made possible by the world's richest man, Elon Musk, who has given $75 million to the super PAC that's bankrolling all of those micro-targeting campaigns.
So there you have it. But that's not all that Elon Musk is doing that is despicable, in some instances illegal. There are apparently, and this is a story from Open Secrets, an initiative called Progress 2028 that purports to be Kamala Harris's liberal counter to the conservative Heritage Foundation's Project 2025 is actually run by a dark money network supporting former President Donald Trump. Building America's Future, the dark money group at the helm of the network, has steered money to a constellation of groups and initiatives boosting Trump's agenda and spreading messaging aimed at chipping away at voters from Harris. The dark money group reportedly received over $100 million in funding from billionaire Elon Musk. That puts us like around $200 million that he's dumped in, at the very least, that we know of, along with other donors. This according to the New York Times. Building America's Future registered to use Progress 2028 as a fictitious name on September 23rd, and the website was created 3 days later. The Progress 2028 site appears to be created by IMGE LLC, a firm run by Republican political operatives that the New York Times described as the hidden hand behind Building America's Future, and a page on the Progress 2028 site includes the firm's sizzle reel. They've also done work for Elon Musk's America PAC. Of course they have. On top of which, Musk is also, one of his groups seem to be sending out fake calls and texts from the Harris campaign, or would appear to be from the Harris campaign. And if I remember correctly, Jacob Walls and that Jack Berkman might have some advice for Elon Musk as to, I don't know, what the best, most comfortable clothes in prison are for doing stuff like that.
What prosecutors look for.
But that's where we're at. I mean, aside from the sort of like more banal and typical problems with the existence of billionaires, Elon Musk is giving you a whole new sort of opportunity to see the danger of billionaires. And imagine if this guy was on top of stuff 6 months ago, instead of coming around when JD Vance got on the docket.
Yeah. If he worked on voter outreach instead of, should I get rid of the block functionality on Twitter?
It's amazing. The other night, like he tweeted like 100 tweets and he brags about it.
That's what he means when he says he works 23 hours a day. He scrolls Twitter. That's me. That's me working from the hours of midnight to 3 a.m.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.